And we are live. And today we're going to talk about the debt of the dollar as we know it. So, the US dollar as you know it, and actually cash in general in the Western society is going to end. And we're going to explore that today. And we're also going to explore the replacement for the US dollar, the cash, the dollar standard. And I have a lot to talk about to you. I have some, let's just say, evidence of my theory, which is no longer a theory anymore. It's shown in facts, and I can prove you that where we're heading is definitely the end of the U.S. dollars. And I believe what's currently happening right now is just a reaction to an eventual solution that's gonna come ahead, and that solution could be beneficial for some and very unbeneficial for others if you're not ready for it. But we're gonna get all into that after the intro.
Hey, yeah, it's all about wealth engineering. Might be something that you're not used to. It's okay, cause I'm here to introduce you to concepts. Time to grow and make big moves. All about crypto, come see. Stocks and business, yes indeed. Got the info that you need. Hosted by my homie JC. Hey, yeah, wealth engineering. Stacking and stacking it up. It's time to generate wealth. Till you living like Scrooge McDuck. Hey, wealth engineering. It's time to show you the game. Till you living like Richie Rich. Till you ballin' like Bruce Wayne. Hey, you ain't gotta be an expert, no problem. It don't really matter where you at, just start it. It'll take time, hard work, and
What's up, guys? This is JC, and welcome to the Wealth Engineering Podcast. This is where I create content so that we can learn how to make, keep, and multiply money in the world of cryptocurrencies. Now, we talk about a lot of things, not just the world of cryptocurrencies. We talk about stocks, crypto, real estate, and business, anything that you can serve as a vehicle to multiply and grow your wealth. So this is what we're here to do. If you're new here, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, click the bell. And I often do these streams. At least I try to keep up with them once a week, sometimes twice a week if I have enough topics to discuss about. But today, I would definitely wanted to dive in into today's topic, which is the end of the US dollars, and show you evidence of this trend. Now, when these were going on in 2020, I mean, you kind of see where it's going, and if you had a theory, people would say, "Hey, it's a conspiracy, right? It's a conspiracy." But today, I have the facts. I have the facts. I also want to say that, hey, if you haven't done so already, check out my Patreon. I actually reduced the prices, so I only offer one tier, low price. Make sure you're tuning in because the follow up to this show here will be posted on Patreon, where I'm going to show you kind of like a watch list of stocks and cryptocurrencies that you can use to benefit from this information I'm going to share with you today. So today we're going to go over the information. We're going to go over the facts, the trend. But in Patreon, that's where I'm going to share with you some knowledge, some insiders information about early investments you can make to benefit from this. I've already shared that on my private Discord, and then I'll be posting that later to them, maybe tomorrow in Patreon. But make sure you sign up to that as well. And I'm also, if you're a member of my YouTube channel, I'm also going to have an exclusive video for you tomorrow, where we're going to dive deeper into some of these investment opportunities. So, with that said, before we get into the topic, I wanted to pay a tribute to Peter Investor M. Salute. Thank you for being here. And Seek Amtist, the lioness of videography. Sorry if I butcher your name. I'm sorry about that. It's my French accent, so so that's what it is. But thank you for being here. I had fun watching you on the was it Gail's channel the other day. It was nice to see her in a very entertaining show. So I'm happy to see you here, and thank you for your support. I absolutely love the intro. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right. So, I have a couple things I'm going to share with you today. Actually, I'll be end up sharing my screen at some point. But the first thing I wanted to talk about is whenever there is massive change that is about to be made in whether the society, the economy, the system Think of it as a system, right? I'll give you an example, right? If we use 9 to 5, right, that's a system. So it's the capitalist system where you have workers, you work from 9 to 5, 8 hours, then you go to your house, you manage your stuff for another 8 hours, then you sleep for 8 hours, right? So it's the day is kind of like divided into three segments. uh One third of that is to sleep, another third of that is to um yeah, another third of that is to work, and then another third of that is kind of like to enjoy your life, right? Cook, clean, spend time with your kid if you have to, your boyfriend, your husband. So eight, divided, 8 times 3 is 24, 24 hours in a day. So that's one system. So the 9 to 5 is a system where you kind of like you're brainstorming into it's brainstorming to you, right? Like your parents had to do it, you have to do it, you're probably going to teach your kid on how to do it. And that systems can keep on and going for centuries, right? Until it gets to a point where the system doesn't work anymore. And then you may have to change the system. Now, this type of system takes a long time to change. Prior to that, we had, let's just call it the slave system, the system of slavery, where instead of paid workers, you had the slave workers, but it was still a system where the economy was based on, because whatever these workers or slaves are producing is goods for the governments to for the economy to grow, for the countries whose own these workers, these slaves, to make profit from, right? So it's a different type of system. Now, the system we're going to talk about today is not at that scale, right? I just wanted to show you that the concept of system. However, the system that we're going to talk about today, it's more like how we interact with the economy, with money. So we're still going to get paid for our work. Maybe at some point we may have to switch from an 8 hour work shift into a 4 hour work shift. This is already in discussion. But the system we're going to talk about specifically is how we interact with money, and the condition that may come from receiving money for our labor. All right. So this is very important. And whenever these types of systems are going to come, there is often a massive problem that happens that creates a massive reaction in the population, in a country, or in the world. And then after those reaction comes the solution. And the solution is the new system, right? So I guess the problem is a flaw of the current system or the previous system you wanted to change. You use that to show you, okay, this is not working. We obviously want to change it, but the government doesn't impose that on the people. It's the people requesting the change, right? And how do they end up requesting the change? It's when they go through uh let's just say a long period of pain. They are revolutionizing against a current system. You see that a lot with actually just today in my city there was a manifestation, or riot, or not a riot, but people marching the street to go against capitalism. Imagine that, right? In Canada, they go against capitalism. So it's not even a super capitalist country like the US. We're pretty much have a fair, I would say, balance between capitalism and socialism, where, a lot of our like schools, for example, in Quebec, the cheapest school in North America, I paid like $130 a semester when I was in college, and it was 1,500 when I was in university for 4 years. So it's 1,500 per semester for 4 years. So that's pretty cheap in comparison to any other cities in the States or in North America or in the Western world, right? Quebec is pretty cheap there, yet we're still marching against capitalism. Who knows? Shout out to Peter Investor M. Salute to you. Thank you for the super sticker. No comment, just pure love. Thank you very much and your support. It's okay. Uh, just call me uh, A- Amethyst. Right, Amethyst. So again, sorry if I butcher it, but thank you very much. The lioness of photography is a lot easier for me to say. Videography, my bad. Even that I said right. But thank you for being here. Thank you for being here also and your support. All right. So yes, that's basically what I wanted to say. Even in Montreal, Quebec, one of the um, one of the least capitalist country, one of the least capitalist system I've seen in the Western world, right? Because it's a fair balance. Like I had CV-19 last year. I spent almost 2 weeks at the hospital with no charge. The only thing I had to cover to pay was the ambulance charge, and which was like 20 something bucks. Right, that's it. For like, I stayed almost 2 weeks. I had like 3 meals a day. I had like the best doctors taking care of me. I had a nice bed, like a hot nurse coming once in a while. Like, everything was taken care of, right? I didn't have to pay anything. Imagine if I had that in like Dubai, for example, or the States. Like, it would have been super super expensive. So, but that again, that shows a sign of a failing system. That's what it shows. It shows a sign of a failing system, and this is just the beginning. And another part of that system is also how we receive the money and how we pay the money, right? Now, I promise you, the reaction is just coming, and we're seeing that with the stock market. I'm going to make a video soon on the FANG stocks. You've seen how the FANG stocks are the blood in the streets with the FANG stocks, right? They're dropping like crazy. Even cryptocurrencies are dropping like crazy. And this is just the beginning. I released a video early this morning about the GDP. The quarter for the first quarter, we're reporting less growth for in GDP. And if we have a second quarter like that, or the next quarter, if it's like that, it's officially a recession, right? So this is where we are. And I believe this is the reaction phase that we are in right now. The problem was the CV-19, which created reaction from day one. But now we're still living to the economic effect. We're going through right now to the economic effect of the reaction. And there will be a point where the reaction will be so severe, well, for which we're already seeing in the streets of people marching against the system. They will demand the government for a solution. Hence, CBDCs. What is CBDCs? Central Bank Digital Currencies. And this is exactly what we're going to talk about today. Now, let's CBDCs, guys. it- I mentioned slavery for a purpose. Slavery was a system, right? It made rich countries, and many people died from it. And I guess the slaves were the poor that got exploited. And then we have the workers, right? I mean, we were we get a paycheck, right? We can at least buy our own food. If we want to travel, we get a little bit more than what a slave would have been. But at the end of the day, we're still working for someone else to get them rich, as opposed to us being rich. And our wealth is disappearing by inflation. Inflation is killing the wealth, and it's becoming harder and harder to save money and pass it down to the next generation. On top of that, if you're not financially educated, then there is no way you're going to be able to make that happen. Whereas before, when we really had money, you could have saved up $200 worth of gold and pass it down 200 years later to your great 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 grandchild, and then it would have still be worth $200 worth of gold, right? The value of the money wasn't fluctuating up and down or down. It wasn't going down at all. It was just staying stable, which is exactly what money is supposed to be: store of value. However, the problem was CV-19, which some people say it's a pandemic, right? Some people say, hey, it's a natural cause of nature, right? Who knows? Who knows? We don't know. However, what we do know is we know that politicians like Hillary, for example, they say you never waste a good crisis, right? You never waste a good crisis. And what that mindset from politicians like Hillary Clinton, what it comes down to is whether this crisis comes naturally, a black swan, or it is planned, who knows? You never waste it, in a sense that you can use that to implement massive change, right? Now, one of the immediate things that happened is it was almost 2.2 trillion dollars worth of money that was printed just to survive the CV-19, right? To recover from CV-19. And at the end of the day, we printed so much money. Even on top of that 2.2 trillion, we printed so much money that 40% of the entire supply of US dollars around the world was printed in 1 year. Okay. Now, level like this are going to create inflation on a scale we've never seen before. And we've already seen this starting now, and this is just the beginning. Mark my word. Now, this is the problem, right? The problem is, because of what happened, the crisis, we are at risk of devaluing the current standard of the US dollar or the world reserve currency. We are currently at the risk of devaluing this dollar to oblivion and possibly lose the status of the world reserve currency. Okay? That's where we are right now. Now, the reactions to the public. The reaction is, as you see, the rich are getting richer, poor are getting poorer to the point that, hey, they're barely able to keep up with food and with rent. And whenever a society gets to this point, we are always at the brink of, I wouldn't say civil war, but I would definitely see civil unrest. Okay. Whenever you get to a large portion of the population are barely keeping up with their rent and food, which is one of the basic needs you need to have a not even a comfortable life, just a life, right? Is going to create civil unrest. So that's what we're slowly heading towards. You've seen that with inflation. You've seen that with the price of energy. You've seen that with the price of gas, right? And then you're going to see that with the price of rent. Okay. Shout out to She Stole My Thunder, JC. Hello, JC, and everyone in the chat. Thank you very much. It's like a Trojan horse for. We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that, Mr. Peter Investor. And just don't worry. I'll try to go quickly on it because I don't want to stay too long tonight as well. But right, but this is where we are right now. This is where the reaction is at. Now, what is the solution? Right, you're probably going to see the tech bubble is crashing. Right, Facebook is flat. Cathy Woods, stocks is going down. Twitter, well, I guess Twitter is no, is not going to be a public company anymore. But basically, everything's going down, guys. Everything's going down, causing the wealth, the little wealth that the investors had based on their pension, their retirement funds, are also going lower. So not only they're leaving a price um, purchase power decrease, their life expenses are increasing. They're barely keeping up with that. From one end, that's what's happening, and then the other hand, you have the wealth that they were supposed to save up to retire is disappearing in the market right now. All right, so they're feeling the pressure both ways, and this is not just a small group of people. So this is where we are right now. Now, what does that has to do with CBDCs? Well, remember what I was saying. Never waste a good crisis. Okay, never waste a good crisis. That's the mentality of the politicians. And while we were in the crisis of CV-19, we needed help. When do you guys remember the date the lockdown started to happen? I remember I was traveling for work. I was in France when the lockdown actually happened. It was somewhere in March 13, March 14, March 15. These 3 days, the market was crashing like crazy. People were calling me every day, making sure I was all right because they're like, "Oh my God, you're traveling. You're gonna have CV." I'm like, "Really? I'm just traveling, man. It's all right." People are like, "No, it's the end of the world here. We're gonna lock down everything, right? Panic pandemonium in the streets, right?" So that's what that's what exactly what was going on in March 13, March 14, March 15. By the time I got back, which was March 18, the city was locked down. We had like videos on TikTok, video on Facebook of showing you empty streets everywhere. By the time we were March 18, and while this was going on, Remember the politicians, what they say: never waste a good crisis. Now, let me show you evidence number one. Evidence number one, actually, let me, yeah, I got it right here. I got it right here. I'm gonna show you evidence number one. All right. Sorry. I'm gonna do that again. Sorry, but in the meantime, let me. I'm gonna. There you go. All that is good. Let me tell you. But in the meantime, let me go to Peter Investor M comment. This will be bring about UBI. This definitely could bring UBI, and well, we yes, we're gonna bring into that. Hello, Gail. How are you doing? $3 super sticker. Thank you very much for your support. Salute to you. And it was great stream. Great stream the other day. It was super fun. I was trying to pass by, but I got hooked on the conversation that was happening. So go check out Gail's channel, guys. Make sure you hit the like button. And a live stream was pretty fun to watch. Also, Carl Black, how are you doing, man? Mr. Musk is targeting Facebook for solid hostile takeover. The cash rich billionaire is circling his wagon to make. I think there is something bigger than going on with the current war against Zuck. There is something bigger going on here. I think you might understand that while as I go through my evidence. But it's interesting where Musk. I don't know. Musk is playing a game. There is a game of power being played with the big billionaires, um, Bezos, Gates, Musk, and Zuck. There is like a kind of a war, civil war happening with these four guys. And what's happening right now, they each of them has a different philosophy about wealth and what needs to happen to solve that solution that we're having, where that reaction and problem that we created, right? But each of them are approaching it a different way, and each of them are interfering with each other's plans. So it's going to be interesting. But I think Bill Gates is going to win it because he has way more power than all the other ones, and I'm going to show you that today. All right, so we're gonna discuss into that. And again, it's not even conspiracy at this point. I was waiting to do this stream for a long time, but now I was able to do like, you know, no, because we were getting the information here, and then 6 months ago we're gonna have the information here. But now I can have everything and put it here, right here in the plate, and serve it to you guys. So I wanted to do this thing for a long time, but I was sitting up on it. But it's time to reveal it. All right, evidence number one. I'm at the congress.gov website right here. And then, wild, wild, wild. We were in the lockdown. March 13th, 14, 15, a week later, Congress, had an emergency discussing about stimulus to release in the economy, right? How are we going to help people? How are we going to send them money to so that we can help them with this COVID-19 war, right? And then Nancy Pelosi proposed this bill right here, right? Now, we're going to get into this date, but I want you to watch the date. March 23, 2020. That's the date. So a week later, after the lockdown, while we're panicking, we're trying to find a solution. This is what's currently being discussed. I mean, this is what was discussing at the time in the Congress, right? To require members bank to maintain a pass-through digital dollar wallet for certain persons and for the purpose blah blah blah. The point is, keyword here, digital dollar. What is the digital dollar? Well, the digital dollar is not the standard dollar. I know people are saying we're already living in a digital age where, hey, we barely use cash anymore. This is just the training set. This is not the real deal yet. The digital dollar is a dollar that will be on a blockchain. And when you can issue a dollar like that, you can make it as a smart contract, meaning you can put an if else statement. That means if you do this, you get that. If you don't do it, you do not get it. And this is programmed. It requires no supervision because the algorithm itself only allows certain actions to be made. For example, And let me look at you in the eyes as I give you this example. Let's say we're having raging inflation. Right now, it's at declared 8.5%. But next month, it could be at 9.2%. The month after that, it could be at 11%. And we could even see at some point 20% inflation officially. Unofficially, we're already at 20%, right? So, what if one day inflation is causing pandemonium in the streets, right? People are going nuts. People are saying, no, this has to stop. People are going after the rich. People are saying, you guys keep more money. We are dying here. We need a solution right here. Government is like, you know what? I got the solution. In 2020, we were already planning on something like that. Well, the time seems just fit to unleash it. And then they just unleash digital dollar, and you have to create a digital wallet approved by the government to receive it. However, if you do receive this money, you have to spend it within the next 3 months. You cannot save it. You cannot buy stocks with it. You cannot buy cryptos with it. You cannot save it, extract it, and well, you can extract it anywhere, right? Because it's only digital. But you cannot even wire it to your personal account for any other type of investments, right? To pay your bill. You have to spend it for groceries and goods and services, right? And if you don't spend it, the dollar disappear. In cryptocurrency terms, we call that you burning cryptos. When you burn the cryptocurrencies, is you're removing them forever in circulation. Now, what if the government again? This is just hypothetically example, right? This is just an example I'm giving you. This is not a theory. This is not. I'm not saying this is a fact. This is purely example, right? You feeling me? You feeling me? Good. So government could say, hey, you have 3 months to spend this money only in certain areas. And if you don't spend it, you lose it. Now, what would that do if in this random example, that would be the society that we're currently living? Well, first, if they're forcing you to buy certain goods, that's going to keep the economy flowing because hey, the GDP could go up because the goods and services are being bought for. Good. And if you don't spend it, you lose the money because the money is going to be burnt, it's going to be removed off circulation. Now, what is the cause of inflation? Is when there is too much dollars in circulation. So if you start removing dollars off circulation, then technically you're going to have a lower amount of inflation. And just like that, you were able to break the back of inflation by controlling the flow of money, by controlling where it needs to go. And indirectly, what you're indirectly doing is you're limiting people's freedom, right? Going back to that slave example that I was mentioning earlier, slavery was an economic system. It benefited a group of people at the expense of others. Now we have the 9 to 5 system. We may go through the 4 hour system in UBI at some point, but at the end of the day, whichever system we decide to go is going to benefit people at the expense of others. And right now, in this example, if we do it that way, right, the cost of that will be our own liberty. Our own liberty is at stake. So going back to the evidence. The evidence to require member banks to maintain pass through digital wallets for certain person, and the word digital dollar is becoming more and more useful here. And again, remember the time, March 23rd, 2020. That was right in the midst of spreading and raging CV-19 going on. That was at the time where we were begging for masks all over the world. That was the time we were begging for ventilators, right? In hospitals. Remember that time? That was the time you were definitely locked in your house and you couldn't go out. Because even if you went out, everything else was closed And then the government, the CDC, everyone was talking day to day on TV to talk to reassure the public, make sure everything's right. And throughout that time, right, a week later, which we were still in the midst of all that, this is what's being passed in Congress. Was it passed? Not yet. It was actually removed right away, but it was actually reshaped into a different bill because that's how they do it, guys. They propose it once, it's not working again. They wait for the next occasion. It's not in, until they made it happen. All right, until they made it happen. Digital dollar wallets, and you're going to need digital wallet to put in those wallets. And those digital dollars are central banks digital currencies, meaning the central bank, which is not a government entity, it's a private entity, will have all power and control over this dollar and can directly controls when you have it, when it's removed, blacklist your wallet if you don't play ball, right? You can have a different credit system that you can program. It's the same thing that we're seeing in China already implemented. Now the Federal Reserve could be implementing something like that because they have the mean to do so with the digital dollar. But but this is just evidence one, right? If it was just that, who knows? It could take time, but I'm gonna show you guys it's bigger than that. Let me go to let me see. Salute Wallis. How you doing? Salute, salute. Hey, nice picture you have here. It's a clash of the Titans. Billy Joe, Snakes to do have a raising capital without selling any shares. I'm more for Mr. Musk. Yeah, sure. I mean, at this point, I don't think we have any dogs, any real dogs on this fight. That's what I think. But hey, for while we were watching for entertainment, Mr. Musk is definitely my favorite too because he's entertaining. But are we really going to win out of this war? No. With a single strategy and multiple tactics, Bezos is terrified. All right, guys. Evidence number two. Now, I told you, digital cryptocurrencies or digital currencies, we call it also CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, are going to replace the dollar as a way to solve the problem that we created. Whether it's, and again, never waste a good crisis. Now, let me show you even more evidence that we're heading that way. What we're currently seeing right now is a patent from Microsoft, right? Cryptocurrency system using body activity data. Now, when this data came, when this information came, I was like, holy cow, this is a problem right here. Cryptocurrency system using body activity data. Before even going any further, what does that tell you? I don't want you to just focus on the word cryptocurrency here. I want you to focus on the word cryptocurrency system, right? A cryptocurrency system involves not just the currency, but also the wallet, right? The economy where it's being used, right? Using body activity data. Body activity. So, does that mean you do a certain activity with your body, therefore you get access to the systems, more access with more access to your body, less access to the system with less access to your body? Could that be it? Right? You even have it in French. Système de crypto-monnaie utilisant des données d'activité corporelle. And that patent was filed by Microsoft. Cryptocurrency system. You even have a block diagram. You have a communication network. Man, if that's what it takes to file a patent, man, I should have 10,000. Look at this. No technology actually created. You just had the idea. You patented right then and there. And what is this idea? This is a basic standard on how telecommunication would work. But cryptocurrency system, whatever it is, right? It's in a cloud. Then it interacts with the communication system. So think of it as maybe 5G. and then there is some type of I don't know, a database here. It could also be, yeah, a lock, a database. There is a item 110 on the patent. We can go check. Sensor, okay. So user device. So think of it as maybe your Apple Watch, your Apple Ring. There's going to be ring coming in. There might even be glasses, right? So those in combination can monitor your heart rate and all that, sensors, and the user will have those sensors on top of on them, and all that is linked with the cryptocurrencies and linked with the body, right? Human body activity associated with task provided to a user may be used in a mining process of a cryptocurrency system. In a mining process, right? Meaning you do certain task, you mine more cryptocurrencies in your wallet, and you don't do those tasks, you don't get cryptocurrencies. Now imagine there was a credit score where, hey, if you wanted to rent an apartment, you needed a 7 point in your credit, 700 point in your credit score. And for you to earn those 700 points, you had to vote every year. You had to actually, if you vote for one party, you get more points. Or you had to spend your money within 2 weeks of getting it. You had to definitely, well, you don't even need to pay tax anymore because with the digital dollar, the tax can be taken automatically off your account. What else? Like, whatever is if you actually protest against the government, then you lose money or you lose the credit score, which means you're definitely going to mine cryptocurrencies at a lower pace, which is gonna put you into disadvantage against society, right? Like, again, you're trying to rent an apartment here. Again, these are just random example, guys. I'm not trying to scare anyone. I'm just trying to show you, hey, this is when you say things like this, a task provided to a user may be used in a mining process of a cryptocurrency system. I mean, worst case scenario, this is where we could be. I'm not saying we're going to the worst case from day one. That's not what I'm saying, right? A server may provide a server. A server may provide a task to a device of a user, which is communicatively coupled to a server. Okay. A sensor is communicatively coupled or compromised in this device to a user, may sense body activity of the user. Basically, look, basically, let's say we don't want you to leave the country and you try to run, we'll know about it. We'll lock you. I mean, again, I'm a kind of this doomsday guy. So my mind automatically goes to doomsday. But the point is, man, this is interesting. Money, we're already knowing that the government has plans to have CBDCs, central bank digital currencies. From those who are new, we reviewed this bill that was passed, not passed, that was presented to the Senate, to the Congress on March 23rd, 2020. This was right in the midst of COVID-19. The lockdown just had happened. People were panicking about masks, right? That's what the date was. And they were talking about digital dollars wallet. Now we're talking about this patent right here that was filed by Microsoft. Now, looking at the date, look at the date, guys. Can you see this? Let me know in the chat if you can see this. Actually, I'm going, let me know in the chat if you can see this. 26/03/2020. Remember this bill? 03/23/2020. I mean, there is not 23 months, so we definitely know that this is the month, right? This is the day, and then this is the year, right? Now look at this. 3 days later, oh, Microsoft all of a sudden had the idea to put cryptocurrency system using body activity data. Hmm, interesting. Now, if we put two and two together, the digital dollar that will be minted by central banks can make its way to this system, cryptocurrency system that's going to be linked to what? To every single human's body. Again, this is just my theory, right? This is just my theory. But what we do know for sure is governments want CBDC. They've been pushing for it, and now it is already being tested, created, right? Many private companies try to have their own digital bank. We'll get into it. 40 Algo, world class. Thank you very much for your support. Needs Watches, how are you doing, sir? Thank you very much for your support. Let me see. Tuning in, Karine, how are you doing? Elon Musk is coming on top of these events. Crypto Russia, Ukraine war. Yes, we'll see. All right, all right. The world classes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, guys. So you've seen the evidence. You've seen the evidence. And now here's the worst creepy part. Not just the date that would happen 3 days after Nancy Pelosi first pitched this to the Congress. And remember their mentality, right? Never waste a crisis. Never let a good crisis go to waste. That's the mentality. And that's why, in the midst of CV-19 lockdown, people are panicking, people are getting sick, people are dying. They're thinking about the solution. Because how do they implement major solutions or major change? Is you have a massive problems that create a massive reactions, which the people themselves has to request for the solution, and then you offer them the solution. Now, what is missing in this process that I just mentioned is we're not at the point yet where the people are asking for the solution. But we're heading there because inflation keeps rising more and more. And why is inflation is rising? Because when we were thinking about the problem, we're already printed so much money that we have no choice but to experience hard, raging inflation. 40% of the entire year's supplies was printed in 1 year. And some of that money made its way to what? To this, to the solution of the problem. And what is the solution? Changing the whole system altogether with digital dollars. That's what they were discussing from the beginning of this problem, right? And then now we're slowly going through the effects of this. In 3 months, 6 months, we might even have an official recession. And then the inflation is going to keep rising up because the government is in a case where they can't increase interest rate. And when you get to a point where your society is experiencing the rent and food, and that's basically 3/4 of their paycheck gone, they're going to revolt, civil unrest, begging for a solution. And then, whole and behold, free money via cryptocurrencies minted by the central bank. And then you'll see Mr. Gate right in time to enjoy something like this, where he is the mastermind of this. He patented this technology that the government will be using to deliver money to millions and millions of people in their country, starting with the US. But I promise you, Canada will follow right after. Now, here is the scary part. This is, look at the numbers here. I don't know what the WO stands for, right? I wouldn't say world order, but I'm joking. But it's something. It's probably something about the patents, right? But 2020, we would say, okay, that's the year 060606. That was definitely not the date, right? But isn't it weird, like 060606? Like, what did that make you feel like? Especially a technology that has the power to really control what you do. Because remember, you get more cryptocurrencies if you do certain activities that is on the database. You can program a code, an algorithm in a database, have a software running it on the cloud. Anyone who's meeting these conditions can have more cryptocurrencies, and anyone who's not meeting these conditions will not have them. But if you live in a world where the you probably seen this, no cash accepted, right? You probably seen this everywhere. Like there is this nice restaurant down the street from where I live right now. I can't. I wasn't able to pay cash in the last 2 years, and the country is opening, and I still don't accept cash. It's all cards, right? No cash accepted anywhere. It's very hard these days to use cash, right? It has to be digital. It has to be your tap with your card, but at least it's linked with your cash account. You can go in a bank and take it for now. But at some point, they're going to make the case that it's going to be much easier to deliver money to people if if we could have a system like this, right? If we could have a system like this, they will say, well, you know what? It's going to give you, we will be able to send you the money much quicker. Just have to download the app, make sure you sign your life away, right? All your rights away. And then there, you'll have the cryptocurrency. We'll have an airdrop. That's the term in cryptocurrencies. They do an airdrop. All of a sudden, you go on your phone and you're like, oh, you receive X amount of money straight on your phone. It takes seconds. That's the beauty of cryptocurrencies. But if you tie that with some kind of system that is also using your body, that could give many ideas to governments. Hey, we do have the power now. We don't want them to protest. Don't do that if you want to keep money in. That's how fascist society starts, guys. And we're slowly heading there. Okay. So to recap, I wanted to say Nancy Pelosi, digital cash cover up, and the new digital cash Bill Gates are rippling through Congress as we speak. Okay. And this is coming from people, again, on my channel, Discord channel. You guys will know what I'm talking about, but Patreon as well. But I sign up to insiders information, people that are linked with Congress, linked with Silicon Valley, people that have good contacts there that can get early information before everyone else. And they're saying that, hey, digital cash and, and digital cash bills are going through right now. The insider that released this information to me is actually currently in a process of going to Chamber of Commerce and explain cryptocurrencies and explain how it can be used and all that, because they want to know more about it, because as they're being asked to vote on certain bills that has those languages, so they need more. So, and then there is this creepy patent from Microsoft, and it's not just Microsoft that's doing patents like that, right? It's also Visa. Visa is also preparing for the next trend. Visa patent filing would allow central bank to make digital fiat currencies using blockchain. Boom. Right then and there. So most people are using Visa cards already, right? You can use a Visa debit card, you can use a Visa credit card, and in your mind, you're just using a card. So you're not associating that with hard cash. But you know that eventually, if you do need the cash, you can go in a bank or ATM and go and remove that, right? Well, now they're putting ahead platforms that will allow the government to do that on a new type of currencies, right? And they're working with the central banks to do that. That's the key word. They're not accepting any other type of cryptocurrencies to do that. I mean, you can make the case that crypto.com has a digital card. Yes, that's just to train the public. But when the government is going to release something like this, they might say, hey, we're only going to accept Visa to do business with us. And you know, not that could happen. Just today, crypto.com made a release saying that, hey, they're going to change and reduce the reward system that they have, slowly reducing it. Maybe at some point the reward might go to zero. Who knows? But and what does crypto.com use? Visa, right? It's a Visa card. It's a Visa prepaid card, but it's still Visa. It's still on a Visa network. But as they're doing that, you would think that the Visa is for decentralized platform. Not really, because they're saying Visa patent filing would allow central bank to mint digital fiat currencies using blockchain. Now, looking at the date, that was couple months after, 2 months to be exact, after this. And what is this? Is the bill proposed to have digital dollar wallets and digital dollar so that people can receive money a lot easier. But there is a lot more than that that can be done. You could program the money to do whatever you want with it, right? So that's where we are right now with with the central bank, and that was 2 years ago, guys. 2 years ago. Since then, there is a lot of progress that's been made. The beta testing the currencies. Uh, China released their CBDCs the same thing last year. They released it last year. They have over 1 year of experience with this new type of currency and their credit score system. All right, and it's a matter of time before they jump in here. But they already have big businesses like Visa supporting them, so working on a solution already. So it's just all they're waiting for is the public to ask for the change, and then they'll have all these rolling out things that they've been working on for years. Okay, but they can, if they put it right now without the public asking for it, people will say, hey, you're going after freedom, you're going after uh you know freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, and all that. Fine, fine, deal with high inflation. And then when you ask for it, these will be my conditions. You got to use this to file to get the money that we want to give you. All right. Visa looks to be laying on the ground of the future of fiat. Visa looks to be laying to the groundwork uh, for a future which fiat currencies such as the US dollars could easily be turned into central bank digital currencies. Now, here is the kicker of this technology, and that's exactly why the government is going to choose Visa to do this work and not anyone else. Maybe it's one of the things that is not mentioned here, but you can go research it, and I promise you will find it. Is one of the things this patent allows. It's not just when they said the US dollar could be easily turned into a central bank digital currency, it actually removes the current US dollars off the market, and then it transforms that into a digital currency. You see what I'm saying? So basically, it's a perfect onboarding system to the new digital currency because it destroys the old one. That's what the patent, their patent is. They found a way to, hey, if you're using this on our platform, we can find a way to kind of obsolete this dollar as we putting it in as a digital dollar. So very fast, you can have millions and trillions of dollars converted into digital currencies as opposed to being available in cash. For example, if Visa is able to do this, you will no longer have the ability to cash out this dollar that you have in the bank. That's their true innovation that they have, and they've been working that since 2 years ago. And that's one of the reasons why the government is definitely going to work with them to deploy their central bank digital currency. It's because of this specific ability to destroy the existing dollar as you're replacing it with the new dollar. All right. So, very important. Very important. And this is not conspiracy theory, guys. This is not a theory. This is facts. And this was facts 2 months after this fact happened, where Nancy Pelosi was proposing digital dollars wallet, while Trump was saying, "Hey, we you know we don't like cryptocurrencies." While he was saying that, this is what was happening in the back end, right? The California-based payment giant, which processes upward of 100 million transactions per day on average, has filed a patent for a process of turning physical fiat currency into newly digitized version. And trust me when I say it's going to delete, remove off circulation the existing US dollars until it's going to transform it into a CBDC. And that's why I'm saying sooner or later, one way or another, you're going to have an account if you want to get your paycheck. You're going to have an account, a digital wallet if you want to get your savings, right? You're going to be forced to onboard into this system, whether you want it or not. And after you onboard, you will be exposed to the conditions of such wallets. And remember, more and more condition will come in. MasterCard, Stripe, Visa. Yes. Big companies too. You're right. Yes. Visa, especially Stripes. So yes, guys, creepy patent. But there are other things also that Mr. Gates is working on to help this initiative. Now, remember the patent was. Remember what the patent was. The patent was cryptocurrency system using body activity data. Well, turns out there is this project called ID 2020. We need to get digital ID right. Mhm. What is the purpose of this company? It's to get digital ID the right way. Identity is vital for political. Woo! Identity is vital for political economy. The first two words why identity is vital is not for you. Oh no, it's for political and economic and social opportunities. That's why identity is vital. Hmm. Interesting. Not to protect your wealth, not to protect your work, not to protect yourself. No, that's not why it's vital. It's vital for political, economic, and social opportunities, right? But system of identification are archaic, insecure, lack of adequate privacy protection, and over a billion people inaccessible. Sure. So what is the solution? Right? Your solution is you put all your ID into one place, a digital secure platform which can integrate with the blockchain, right? Since 2016, ID 2020 has advocated an ethical privacy protecting approach to digital ID. Of course it has. Of course. You can go read about it. You can go read about it. And who's part of this? Let me see. Let me see if we can get more. Get who's part of this? Media resources. Let's see. Let's see. Media. Nah, nah, nah. Because I wanted to show you straight on their website. I saw it the other day, but I forgot where I saw it. But eventually I'll find it. But guys, this is what they're currently working on. ID. And when they say ID, right, what they're actually saying is your body data, right? Remember what the patent was, body activity data. So they're going to make it in a way that part of your ID will be not just your fingerprint, not just your fingerprint, but also your health data. Maybe you can have later the DNA data at some point. You're going to put all that into one digital platforms, and I promise you that's going to find its way to the dollar, the new dollar that's going to replace the existing dollar, the central bank digital currencies. And if that make with this technology, that's what this data can be used for. Right? Who filed this patent? Mr. Gates. Who is working on this technology? Mr. Gates. right? The Rockefeller Foundation, Microsoft, right? This is foundations that are masqueraded as foundation, but instead they're actually working on bigger things to working with governments, working with big companies, and to implement a certain solution only when the public asks for it. But the solution will come, and that's how it's going to be. And that's what I'm saying. Bill Gates might win this war because his power is too great. Is because for him to be working in this in 2016, and Pelosi to promote that in 2020, 2000, and 3 days later he filed a patent. He had it ready, right? He had it ready. That shows you is the extent of his power right there. So a man like that, a man like that is powerful, man. And that, I don't think Trump, no, not Trump, Elon Musk might be powerful now in terms of how much liquidity and cash he has, but not to the level of Bill Gates. I don't think he can compete with that way. And that's why I think his net worth is going to increase significantly in the next couple of years. I think he's going to either be at the same rate at Elon Musk or probably more because of things like this. Right? If the government decide to go with his way, Microsoft is just going to dominate this sector right here because they're ready. They've been ready on it days after it was announced. Insider knowledge, man. That's the name of the game. That's how you get ahead knowledge, and then you shape your wealth to your liking. So let me see. There's something I wanted to show you guys too. All right. But I'm gonna open that. But let's see what the comment section is saying. What do you guys think about this so far? Is it am I reaching? Am I copying? What do you think? What do you think? Let me know in the chat what you think. Let's see. They can gather data mining on the individual and track your behavior. Yes, they can. They can. They will be able to do that. The only thing that's stopping them to do that right now, Mr. Peter Schiff, is the dollar. Because we are not we're in a cash dollar. That is, the cash dollar is being represented in a digital world. So the cash, we can't really put a statement or a condition, right? An if statement on the cash. What? If you don't do this, I'm gonna take out my cash, right? But here, if you go to fully digital, it only works in the digital realm, it only works in the clouds. Well, then you can put conditions. And that's what this technology allows. Okay. So yes, everything is tied together with the ID 2020, and it's a scheme to attach everyone's money and their identity to electronic passports. That's the other things too. When we talk about passport, your health card can be attached to ID 2020. It could be your passports, it could be your voting cards, your DNA cards, your latest vaccine passport, right? All this information will be tied into this, and then it will be tied to your money thanks to this patent. So that's how the digital dollar is going to replace um, the current dollar we have. Let me show you something. Remember this famous quote from someone on the Economic Forum? All right. There is a famous quote from the Economic Forum that I want to show you. Now you're going to understand more and more why people are saying things like that. It was this guy Davos mentioned this. I think it was in 2021. 2021, right? After they made the patent public, after the bills were passed, right? And then they go on Davos Economic Forum. Look at this guy, right? Look at this guy. You will own nothing and be happy. And they're calling it the Great Reset. What is going to be reset? What reset are they talking about? And this is a term that is actually being promoted right now. It's actually being promoted as something that is good for us, that is good for our economy. The Great Reset by the Economic Forum. And he's the mascot for this word right here. You will own nothing and be happy. Would you be happy if you own nothing? Let me know in the chat, guys. What do you think about this? Is right now, how do you feel about owning nothing and be happy with that? Is that something that you see yourself living one day where you own nothing? Let me know. I'm curious. If these CBDCs are not pegged to either the US dollars or gold or BTC, then what's next to digital? Well, the thing is, what is the US dollar right now pegged to? Well, I guess you could say the petrodollar. It is pegged to that. Is if we happen to do a digital currency right now, technically it would still be pegged to that. And if we're able to have over 50 years of this, and as the US dollar running the economy, and still be the world reserve currency status, so why not just switch the system, but still have it pegged by the same thing, and keep it going? Now the issue would come to if the Saudi Arabia, for example, decide not to make deals with the digital dollar anymore. Okay, but Visa, they may not just choose US dollars, but central banks are all over the world. Visa can make deals with anyone, and eventually Saudi Arabia will have to comply with one of them. So it's kind of like choose your poison. Saudi Arabia will have to deal with whatever's money is available because that's the money that their customers want. And if the customers don't pay them, they don't keep those camel. They don't keep those Dubai trip paying people 100,000 to visit the desert and have their camels do things to them. Oh, I'm just joking, man. I'm just joking. But seriously, guys, I'm joking, but there is something serious about that. You'll own nothing and you'll be happy, right? To prevent the people from criticizing these incompetent leaders like Mr. T, I agree. In Canada, they want to know who is who. It exactly like look if the system was already operational, the what happened with the truckers will never happen. It wouldn't happen because would you risk your food? Would you risk groceries to go and go protest? Like they already canceled their bank accounts. They debanks anyone that was taking part of the protest, destroy them financially, but they had to, get the approval. It looks bad on the public, right? But if you had a button, you could just press, and then next thing you know, no one knows about it, and then just happens. You don't. It's already happened. It's done. The media can't stop you. They already, you already done it. They just have to justify why it was done, right? I believe Cardano Ada was implementing the digital identification test run in Africa. It's I think you're right. Yes, and it will be many different platforms that's going to use something like this. Many different platforms that's going to. It might be a system that every cryptocurrency end up using. They might make a law saying that hey, if you want to have a crypto account, you need to have an account with ID 2020. Like it could be an integral part of our society, starting with the money based currency. Billy Joe is printing his own money. Sure. Who knows? All billionaires are not equal level of wealth. Absolutely. I agree with that, Dr. Evil. Thank you, Gail. Thank you, Gail, for your support. And thank you, Gail, very much. Actually, I need to remove the PayPal link because what I notice is I notice it shows people name, and I don't necessarily want people to expose information they're not comfortable exposing. So super chat is fine. At least I see your username on YouTube, on Facebook or YouTube. I don't see your full name and stuff. So if you want to protect your identity while you still can, or maybe you want to send me PayPal anyway and get used to everyone know everything about you because they can check it on a blockchain, right? Vladi Ruble is on the rise, making sure of his oil is paid. And Ruble maybe secretly working with their own digital currency. Yes, and I can tell you right now, China eventually China might, if China wants to buy their oil, China might say, "Hey, I want to do it in my digital currency." Input Output IOK, the company behind the Cardano currency, plans to build a national ID blockchain in Ethiopia. Good, good point. I gotta look into that more. But yeah, I remember hearing about that too back in the days, and I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. It's just it might be a very integral part of our current society and how the new system gets implemented. So the question is, what can we do? What can we do about it? Well, first, what you can do is you can definitely sign up to my Patreon because this is where I'm going to show you a portfolio different. We're going to share the insiders information. It's already posted on the Discord, but I'm going to make a video about that too. Of basically a watch list of stocks and cryptocurrencies that you can start using to benefit from this. Because at the end of the day, if there's two options, it's either you make money from it or people use you to make money off you, right? There's no middle point in a system like this. It's either you buy your freedom with it or you get enslaved by it. That's the way I see it. So, what can you do? You could definitely inform yourself, prepare for it. It's coming this decade for sure. The only thing we're waiting for is what is the reaction to the public to the point where they are asking for it. And then very fast, they will unload this as fast and wide as possible to get people to use to it. Remember, just take an example of how fast people had to acquiesce to the rules and regulation for the CV-19, the mask. Just see how fast that went. Now imagine if I tell you, hey, if you do this, you're going to get maybe $1,000 airdrop, maybe a $500 airdrop. Maybe you need that for reset to fight inflation. In Canada right now, in Quebec, they're discussing about $500 to help people pay gas and food. Like just send that into your account. So yeah, brace for impact. That's the other point you need to do. What can you do? Inform yourself, prepare for it, build your shopping list, and get ready for it. But why I'm saying shopping list is because we're going to head towards a recession. I think we're 3 months away from it, actually. But I could be wrong. It could be longer, but eventually we're going to get there. We've already seen the last 2 weeks, crypto market down, stock market down, the FANG stocks are down, even Cathy Wood is down. Everyone's down, right? Except drip. If you're a drip investor, I mean your deposit went down, but either way, you're not going to receive that. But the daily amount, the 1% is still going up, and when you are at the lower price, you can load up even more to keep your income the same, for example. So that's something you could do. That's going well for me. I like it. I load up more yesterday on drip. So you could do that too if you want. I made a video on drip. If you're watching this on replay, I might put it somewhere on the description. But yeah, that's where we are right now, guys. What can you do? Prepare your shopping list for stocks and crypto you want to buy, so that when the market corrects itself, right, that you can scoop it at the bottom. You don't scoop it on the way down and it keeps dropping. You waited for it to calm down at the bottom. You scoop more, but you need to have a plan. You need to have a target of, if it hits this price, I'm going to put this much. If it hit that price, I'm going to put that price in, right? So that's how you end up doing it. And what can you buy in? Well, definitely any stocks and crypto you believe in, but something that you know will keep up with these changes and benefit from it, right? So, for example, if there is some type of ID tied with your currency that needs sensors, well, all you have to do is to go on this diagram here. Let me show you. You can go on this diagram here and invest in all aspect of this diagram. All right. You can inspect on 5G. You can inspect on all wearable device like Apple. Me, one of my favorite stocks is Fuzi. Uh, Fuzi. And then they make like smart glasses. Smart glasses, that's what they make. Smart wearables. Telecommunication, 5G company. You could have a 5G portfolio. Cryptocurrency systems. Companies that public companies or that are going to benefit from this, like Microsoft, for example. So this is in a nutshell quickly, but if you want to go like better type of investment things like the most people are not realizing yet, that's going to benefit from this technology. Check out the Discord, the private Discord, and the Patreon too. I put the price down on the Patreon, guys, so you could get in. And I think I'll leave it like that for a while. So get in, guys, get in, and get ready. Get in and get ready. That's all I got to say. But let me go through very quickly on the comment section before I go. It's we need to start saving and preparing for a long stay. Movie Terminator. Well, here's the problem with saving. Inflation is rising so much that saving for the long term is not the best idea right now. And that is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. However, what I am doing is I am not saving. Instead, actually, I didn't plan on selling some cryptocurrencies that I was investing for long term. But looking at the data, looking at what's coming, I had to make a decision because, um, well, first I found cryptocurrencies that are paying me more in dividend paying stocks, like the cash flow value investing. Shout out to Drip, my number one DeFi project right now. But yeah, I'm trying to put safer investments in real estate right now. That's what I'm doing. Real estate, I'm putting a lot of my money. As of 2 months from now, all my savings will go to real estate. All of it. Right now, it's still kind of like 50-50, 50 crypto, 50 real estate. But as of 2 months from now, it might possibly be next month too. But let's just say by July, it will be all of it will go to real estate. And I'm not saying real estate in the West. Real estate in the West is overvalued. I'm looking at other countries that are still undervalued. I'm looking at projects. Yesterday, I was looking at Ghana. Shout out to my Discord. I was talking on the real estate channel. We were sharing about Ghana. Shout out to Natasha Vincent. She said that she has some contacts there that we can leverage to get connection in Ghana for real estate. So I'll be looking into that. But I already have a land in the Caymans. Now I'm looking for my other lands, and I'm looking for opportunities overseas in countries that I might be interested to not just invest in real estate, but to also start businesses and all that. And yeah, starting with the real estate, and later I'll expand to business and I'll expand to commercial. But right now, as of now, I'm planning to put 100% of my savings into real estate that is undervalued with the potential to grow on the long term. That's what I'm doing. I'm already up 15K on my land in the Caymans, and I bought it like a couple months ago. Why? Because I bought it in an area that was getting value, and as soon as it was sold out, when you put all the field back into the market, it people jack up the price 20K, and they still sell like pancakes. So if I want, I could sell my land right now and get 20K profit from it, just from holding it a couple months. Why this happened is because of the location I chose, The market is low there, and the potential for this land, just the land, is to at least do 100% in the next 5 years. That's my potential ROI on this land alone, let alone property I would build in on it. So that's what I'm doing right now. While I wait for the market to stabilize and low, and I'm having my shopping list, right? I have a crypto shopping list. I have a stock shopping list. I just added 3 stocks in my shopping list based on the information that I'm going to share with you on the Discord. Or I already shared it on Discord, but I'm going to share it on Patreon too. So I already added 3 on my watching list. I call it my shopping list. And when I say shopping list, it's because there are certain times when I see the chart is doing what I want it to do, the price drop low enough, then I load up. I love to buy low, ride it on the way up. And as I'm riding it, I'm making money now by cash flow, by paying a dividend, maybe an interest, and I make money over time with value appreciation. That's how I play the game. I can't do that with my land right now because I can't rent my land. But this is a deal I had to do. But I might do something like that in Ghana, where I basically do Airbnb, for example. But I might do it. But who knows? Or not. Anyway, I don't know if it's Ghana, but right now this is where I'm looking at right now. I like the real estate that I see. I might do something. I might do. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm looking right now. I'm looking into it. Africa. I wouldn't mind owning a land there too. Saving foods. That's a great point. That is a great point, Mr. Investor M. Absolutely. That's one of the things we can be doing too, because no one, we can talk about money all we want, but nothing beats commodity that you need to survive. And right now, guys, definitely load up potatoes, thing that can last a long time. Recession foods, right? Potatoes, bags of potatoes, man. Put that in the freezer. You could last a year like this, man. Buy Costco, buy lots of meat. You can freeze that. Here's what you do: you buy food that you can freeze now, and then on a weekly basis, you buy your food. That means you keep your savings in the freezer, and then on a weekly, this is where you spend on a weekly basis your groceries. Should something happen, then at least one day you can decide to just stop buying on a weekly basis and then leave off your saving food for 3 4 months, right? Because when we get to a point where rent and food is 3/4 of your salary, it's a problem. It often creates civil unrest, and before it gets better, it's going to get worse. And before it gets better, the public will be asking for a solution. What's going to make them ask for the solution? It's going to be the civil unrest, the instability, the price rising at the groceries, the shelf empty, right? All that is going to cause the public to be begging for the solution. So you need to understand the patterns: problem, reaction, solution. The solution I've already shown you. They've been working on it since 2019, since 2020, since 2016. The pipeline is already there. We're just waiting for the switch to turn on. And the switch needs to happen when the public will be ready for it. But now we're seeing it. Millennials are going to be at the forefront of this impact, right? At the forefront of it. And then, boom. So, great point, Mr. Peter Investor M. Food. Surely I need to start doing that too. But I was this morning, I was thinking about that in Costco just this morning. So I'm with you on that, man. Ghana is giving it the investment land for the people of the yes, yes, including U.S. citizen. Yes, I'm actually joining a network of diaspora in Ghana. I'm amazed with Ghana so far, man. I'm doing my research on Ghana and beautiful women, you know, and it seems like it speaks English very well. close to the water. 2 million people in the country, a lot of people, but there seems to be like open to Western investments. And I mean, so far Ghana is winning. I have to be honest. I haven't. I wanted to look at Senegal and Cameroon and Nigeria. I haven't done my research yet on those, but Ghana so far, man, it seems to have a lot of things I want. So I might do that first and then look at the rest. So who knows? Who knows? But thank you very much for this, Pedro, because I'm looking into Ghana right now. I've been looking at Ghana in the last 3 weeks, and I'm interested. All road leads back to real estate at the end. At the point, yes, to write inflation, hold on that property in the Cayman. Nice. That's a nice. Oh man. Oh yes, my man. Yes, can't wait for that. Go to Costco and stock up. You'll need 3 to 6 months. Yes, I agree. I agree. And I'm actually moving to a new place in 2 months. So once I move in, I'll be getting set up. I'll do a stream too when I move in to my new place. My new place is going to be entirely funded by cryptocurrencies. So I was visiting this new place today. I still working on settling on which one I want to choose. But I'm visiting new place right now, new condos downtown, and I'm going to be paying a full year rent, and all my utilities, all my furnitures, all that is going to be funded by my profits from last year. So it's interesting. Crypto is real, guys. It's not just digital. It translates into physical things. And I'm crossing finger that I get accepted for a condo that I saw this morning, where I get to in the condo itself. There's a nice interior pool. There is a full gym. That's what I want, man. I work hard. I work late. I don't want to be tied to a schedule where I have to go to the gym within a certain time. I just went on like, hey, you know what? I'm free now. I just jump to the gym, and then after, if I want, jump straight on the pool. Why not? I'm looking for a place like that. I found two. Crossing fingers, because many people are fighting to get the same place. So actually, right after this stream, I'm going to send my documents to sign up to the stream. But I'll make a stream when I move in, and how I was able to afford literally a full year of rent with just my profits from cryptocurrencies. So and yeah, crypto is real, guys. Crypto is real. And Cayman too. The Cayman Islands, so far, all the money that I put in there is from my profits from cryptocurrencies. So it's converging into real things. So it's going to be a domino effect. Absolutely. Gas price is the main cause of these price hikes. No, not the main causes. And people are fed up. No, gas prices was rising before this was happening, right? The main cause is the money that was printed for CV-19. This is the main cause of what's going on, everything we're going through right now. Now, when you add that with the years and years and years of stimulus package that we had, then it creates a catastrophe um, like we've never seen in history, right? We've never seen everything bubble. It was last time we had just one bubble in the real estate. We definitely noticed problems with globalization. Everything gets crashed at the same time, and that was just one bubble. Now we have a bubble in everywhere, on everything bubble. So the impact of that, you gotta get ready for it, because we've never seen that in history, and just one bubble can create massive impacts in our economy. So on everything bubble is gonna be asking people to beg for a solution. And this is where cryptocurrency system using body activity comes in. This is where 3 days prior to that, Nancy Pelosi's bills, digital dollar, and digital dollar wallets are gonna come to play. This is where Mr. Bill Gates projects ID 2020, where you can have everything: passports, vaccine passports, ID, voting cards, health data, everything into a secure platform that is also tied with your currency, global currency. And Other platforms also are visiting creating patents that allows the destructions of the current US dollars to replace it with the digital dollar, right? Visa is going to make it easy to do that. As you spend the money, you don't even see it happening. And that's exactly what's happening. So get ready. What you can do is, as Mr. Peter Investor M mentioned, get food ready. Load up on food 3 to 6 months. Carl Black mentioned that too. 3 to 6 months. Absolutely. Make sure you sign up to the Patreon if you can, and check out the shopping list that I'm building based on insiders information, people that are getting information on the market way before they make publics. That's how I deal. Insiders, the best investors are they have inside information legally, of course. But if you can get that, you can be way ahead of the crowd. You can see things happening miles away, and you can invest in people in things years away before it 10x, 100x. I don't look at 100% on my return. I look at possibility to do 100x and 10x regularly. So that's what I do, and I share this information also. And check out the Patreon, guys. But if you're also a YouTube member, you're going to be exposed to some of this information too. Tomorrow, I'll make a stream on that. We're going to discuss the some of the picks. So shout out to Peter Investor, who's a supporter. And with that said, guys, that's all I wanted to talk for today. I hope you took some notes. I hope it made you think about things we can do. But whether you want it or not, whether you prepare for it or not, these changes are happening, and they will happen with or without you. So either you get, either you make money from it, or you get enslaved by it. Okay. And when I make investments away from the Western societies, I'm not just making investments to multiply my wealth and buying assets at a low and hope to sell it higher. I'm also making an investment on my freedom. Because if you are in any Western societies, countries, you're going to be affected by this technology that's going to replace the dollar. So I'm trying to set myself in a way that even if I would get enslaved by it, that I can have some level of control as much as possible. And when you go to kind of like developing countries, it's a lot harder for technologies like this to have a massive impact in your world. Whereas if you live in a world where you have 24/7 electricity, well, everything is digital, well, it becomes a lot easier for you to depend only on this source of um, energy or f- economy, and the more you depend on it, the more you can be enslaved by it. So keep that in mind too, guys. If you can find ways, think about ways to protect your freedom and have a plan against that. All right. And invest in DeFi, decentralized finance. Decentralized finance. And that's where I like what Elon Musk is doing, because Elon Musk sees what's going, and he sees that with Jack Dorsey, they're taking away their Twitter. And Twitter is fundamental to the decentralized web, fundamental to that, because that's where everyone is. And I'm happy that they're working on that. Now, I promise you, Elon Musk and Jack Dorsey are working on a way to combine Twitter with cryptocurrencies. I just I don't have the data on that yet, but I have a strong hunch that that's what's currently being working on right now. And if you're looking at, I don't have the data that confirms this, but if you're looking at the moves that both of these guys are making, that's where it's leading. That's where it is leading. So if we're looking at facts, we can say that, hey, based on the moves that are currently being happening, meaning they're working on mining bitcoins, they're working on acquiring Twitter. Jack Dorsey is running Block, right? Formerly Square. Square was very fondly of cryptocurrencies. So eventually they were looking into supplying cryptocurrencies and maybe get into DeFi at some point. And that would be the way to fight the central bank digital currencies. But when it comes to using and cashing out your cryptocurrencies, even in DeFi, to buy goods and services, that's where you're going to need the fiat, the central bank digital currencies. Unless we develop an entirely DeFi economy, if we develop an entirely decentralized economy where you can buy your rent your house with Bitcoin. You can rent your place with Bitcoin. You can buy out, you see what I'm saying? Using an alternate cryptocurrencies as opposed to the centralized dollar and everything your bills. If we do that, that's the only way that we're going to have to fight the imprisonment that's going to come from using the digital dollar. Okay. So with that said, very quickly, printing money. I see the phonics will rise again from the ashes. Thank you very much. Maybe that maybe this what biblical scholar call the mark of the yeah. Who knows? Look, I don't know, man. This is where the conspiracy part comes in. But who knows? Who knows? Right? Maybe. But one thing for sure is, if this new system is implemented, you will not be able to buy bread without it, unless we create a side currency or a side economy where we are allowed to buy bread with Shiba, with you're allowed to buy bread with Bitcoin. And that's why I support what Elon Musk is doing. But if Elon Musk decides to change and join the party, or maybe he has no choice but to join the party because of how much power these people are wielding, then we're screwed. Meme coins plus Twitter plus delivery systems. Absolutely. Yes. All right, guys. All right, all right. So that's all I wanted to talk for today. Thank you very much. I'll try to create another stream again on Wednesday to keep in touch. But I hope you had fun with this. Make sure you hit the like button, comment on this video after it's posted, and share it. Share it to as many people as possible. Share it on your social media because people need to know about things like this, because it's going to get a lot of people by surprise when all of a sudden they see, hey, they're being exposed to certain things, but they have to spend the money within 3 months if they want it. Like it's just mentally that's going to affect people in many ways. And I believe also that's going to create a lot of mentally people are going to suffer a lot from this, right? It's not going to be fast. It's going to be a fast change, but it's going to have slow problems. And then in the earlier you are prepared for it, the easier it's going to be for you to adapt yourself to this new world. And that's why we need to have this conversation. Not many people online are talking about it. It's not a content YouTube is going to want to promote, but definitely share with it as much as possible. That's where I need your help, guys, so that people can see things like this. So share it as much as possible on your social media and get the conversation going. But as far as data, I showed you facts today, not conspiracy. Facts on where this technology is going. And within this decade, with or without you, we're going to see it implemented. The question is, are you going to be a slave to it, or are you going to buy your freedom with it? With that said, we'll see you on the next one.
Hey, yeah. It's all about wealth engineering. Might be something that you're not used to. It's okay, cause I'm here to introduce you to concepts. Time to grow and make big moves. All about crypto, come see. Stocks and business, yes indeed. Got the info that you need. Hosted by my homie JC. Hey, yeah. Wealth engineering. Stacking and stacking it up. It's time to